So yeah, good morning all. So in the today's class, we will discuss about the fifth chapter, that is inheritance. Completely dealing with inheritance. What is inheritance, and what are the different types of inheritance? That completes, and then the next one more part is like virtual functions. Okay. So yeah, before going to the topic, in the previous class, I have given an assignment like how to, I have given a string. After this one, whenever I am giving this plus operator, then two strings should be concatenated. And whenever I am giving this equal operator, then the two strings should be compared. And if both are equal, then it has to display like both are equal. The strings are equal. And whenever I am using this operator plus plus, there is nothing but increment operator, then whatever the string character is there, each character should be incremented by one, and after that one it has to display the next character which is coming for that one. So for this one, what I have taken like IO string.h, okay, because I am using the string functions. The only thing is, whenever I am using this plus operator, so I will write within the operator plus only. So what is the logic that is related to concatenation, that logic I will write inside that particular thing. And whenever there is equal to operator is there, whatever the logic that is required for comparing these two strings, whether both are equal or not, that logic I will write inside this one, and increment I will write inside this one. So for this one, I have taken one class that is add, compare, and increment string. Okay, I can add or concat. You can take anything. Add is nothing but concatenation. Add, comparing, and incrementing the string. So within this one, I have taken in the public section, I have taken the string str. I have taken this character, or otherwise you can take string also. You can directly take string, because there is a data type in C++, that is string data type is there. And I have taken over this one. This is add, compare string. So it is a default constructor. Even if you didn't create it, this is a default constructor with empty body. Even if you don't define also, it will be automatically created. And this is a another constructor which is taking this character string or character array as a parameter. And what it is doing is just a string copy. Within this one str, I will copy this str. So here I'm using this operator, because whenever this class data member and the parameter that is given to the function, or that may be given to the constructor, both are having the same name, because this is the class data member which is having str as the name. And here, whatever the constructor or function, that a parameter also having the same name, to differentiate both, I will try to use this operator, or this keyword, or this pointer. Okay. So because for every class, by default automatically one pointer is created, even if you didn't specify also. For every class, it will be automatically created, like add, compare, uh, uh, comparing string. Okay, add, comparing string, star this, like this, automatically it will be created. For every class, automatically one default pointer will be created, that is called this pointer. So if you want to access those data members, then directly, as it is a pointer, this to str, comma str. This to str means that is nothing but this str, that is class number, and this str is nothing but whatever the parameter that I am sending. That's it. Okay. This is about this. And after this one, I am writing the logic for all these three operations, in which first I want to do s plus then will be called, then whenever I call this s1 plus s2, then s1 dot operator plus of s2 will be called. So which is used to do concatenation. So operator plus of s2 anagane, it has to take one argument, as whenever this binary operator is doing by using this normal operator as member function, then it will take only one parameter. But if I am doing the same operation using friend function, then I have to write friend, friend keyword I have to use. And after this one, it will take how many parameters whenever I am using friend function?
Two parameters.
Two parameters.
Okay. I have to write add, compare in string s1 comma add, compare string s2. But here I am using only operator as member function. So that's why this is your operator plus and comparing this string. So directly I am creating one object, because it is returning. Whenever I concatenate two strings, it will return on one more string. So that's why I'm returning also this string type only. So the returning also same class. So I'm creating this class object as return type. And after this one, first I'm creating a temporary variable, that is s3, or anything temporary. You can take a t or something like this, anything. And first I will do concatenation. str will be coming from directly from here. That is nothing but directly for this S1, no need to specify. S1 dot and specify directly, it will be taken as str, comma, this whatever the second string is there, that will be s2 dot str. I will do concatenation by using this string cat function that is there in the string dot h header. After doing this string concatenation, I will copy into this, copy into the temporary string. I will copy into the temporary string because str will be modified. That is nothing but now that str will contain whatever the concatenation that will be there in the str. That str I just want to copy into this t dot str, that is temporary, and after this one I will return that particular t. So this is for concatenation operation. And in the same manner, whenever I am doing this equal to operator, that is nothing but to compare the two strings whether equal or not. So I will try to write like this. So I will write like S2 equals to S4. So it will internally call S2 dot operator equal to S4 like this. S2 dot operator equals to S4. So it will also take one parameter only. So that's why I'm writing operator equal to, and what is the name of the class and what is the parameter that it will take. And now I'm using for comparison, I will try to use this string compare function. So string compare function is a function which is used to compare two strings. If both the strings are equal, then it will return 0. Otherwise, it will return the difference between the first character. Okay, got it right? I think you know in the C basics. Like if I have welcome, and here we have something like I will take simple example like ABC is there and DEF is there. If both the strings are equal, like this is S1 and this is S2. If ABC అని ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి S1 S2, then both are equal అని వస్తుంది. అట్లా కాకుండా ABC DEF అని ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి, then what is the ASCII value of A? That is something like 97. Okay, 97 for example, 97. And what is the value of D? That is something 97, 98, 99, 100. So what is the difference between these two characters? That is -3. That will be returned. If both the strings are not equal, then it will return the ASCII difference of first two characters. If both the first two characters are same, then it will take the second character B and E. What is the ASCII value difference between B and E? That will be returned if both the strings are not equal. That is there in the string comparison function. So string comparison function, when both the strings are equal, then it will return 0. Otherwise, it will return what is the ASCII value difference. All of you mute. So if both the strings are equal, then it will return 0. Otherwise, it will return the ASCII value difference. But here I am doing this. If string comparison of these two values, when it will return 0 when both the strings are equal. So if 0 equals to 0, I means that is nothing but both strings are equal. So here str is nothing but whatever the second character I want to compare with another character. So whatever the character, whatever the string that is there, that will be there in the str, and that will be compared with the second string that you are sending as a parameter. And after this one, if both the strings are equal, then it will return 0. So 0 equals 0, it will return 1. If both the strings are not equal, then it will return the ASCII difference. ASCII difference return చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి ASCII difference అనేది -3, -4 ఏదైనా ఒక నాన్ నెగటివ్ ఇంటీజర్ రావచ్చు లేకపోతే పాజిటివ్ ఇంటీజర్ రావచ్చు. లైక్ if it is the string is DEF and this is your DHK like this, then it will both the strings are not equal, but what it will return is DD. రెండు D ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి E దగ్గరికి వెళ్తుంది. What is the value of E? Something like 101 అనుకోండి. And what is the value of H? So otherwise I will take here, it may be like this. It may be H E ఇలా ఉండొచ్చు లేకపోతే అలా ఉండొచ్చు. ఇలా ఉంటేనేమో సంథింగ్ ASCII value of H అనేది 105 minus 101. So it will give +1. So it may return either plus negative value or positive value. After that one, it will be compared with 0. So as it is false, then it will return 0. If both the strings are equal, then it will return 0. So 0 equals 0, it will return 1. If both the strings are not equal, then it will return any non-negative, any negative or positive number. So if it is compared with 0, then we are getting false condition, then it will return 0. So this is about operator equal. And whenever there is operator plus plus, as operator incremented, then no need of this. This will be just void only. And after this one, because I don't want to return any value. Whenever increment operation is done, then automatically I just want to get the second next string. So that's why I will take int I, and incremented string is I will compare because I have to increment each character by character. So that's why I less than string length. I'm using a function called string length. What is string length? Can anyone tell? What is string length?
Length of the string.
Yeah, that is the length of the string. So whatever the length of the string, that means it will be repeated only up to that point. So I plus plus, and after this one, whatever the string of I, that is nothing but whatever the first character is there, str of I, that is nothing but w. It may be w. Next wo, it may be r, like that. And whatever the value of that w, that will be plus one. After this one, it will converted into character. So that's it. So yeah, all these we have written the statements for operator function, operator plus, operator equal to, and operator plus plus. And after this one, I am taking this main. Within the main, I am calling this test function. Otherwise, I can, whatever the logic that is there, everything that I can write here itself. Okay, I can write inside this one. Otherwise, I can create any other function like test. I can call, and I can write inside also. So that is void test. I'm taking the first character as world and the second character also world only, same thing. Or otherwise, I can enter from the keyboard also. Cin enter first string and enter second string, like that also I can take. I can use getS function or getLine function, anything. And after this one, I'm taking I, because for this operator equal to, it will return only 1 or 0. So that's why I will take this one. First add compare string of s1 comma str1. So that is nothing but s1 అనేది ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లోకి str1 అనేది కాపీ అవుతుంది. That is nothing but parameterized constructor will be called, and whatever the string that I am sending, that will be copied into that particular thing. So that's why s1 s1 అనే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లోకి str1 వరల్డ్ కాపీ అవుతుంది. s2 అనే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లోకి వరల్డ్ అనేది కాపీ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ s3 అని తీసుకున్నాను, s4 అని తీసుకున్నాను. ఎందుకు s4 తీసుకున్నా అంటే, because once after doing this concatenation, s1 also modified to evolved world. ఓకే, కంకాటినేషన్ చేసిన తర్వాత s1 కూడా మాడిఫై అవుతుంది. దానికోసం నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నానంటే, ఫస్ట్ str1 ని ఐఎమ్ కంపేర్, బికాస్ ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు కంపేర్ దిస్ టూ స్ట్రింగ్స్. s2 ఐ వాంట్ టు కంపేర్ విత్ s1, బట్ s1 అనేది కంకాటినేషన్ జరిగిన తర్వాత ఇట్ విల్ బి మాడిఫైడ్. సో దట్స్ వై I before I am copying that particular string 1 into another string, that is s4, that is another object. And now s3 equals to s1 plus s2. So s1 plus s2 అనగానే s1 డాట్ ఆపరేటర్ ప్లస్ ఆఫ్ s2 అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది. ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఈ str అంటే నథింగ్ బట్ ఆ రెండు కంకాటినేషన్ అవుతాయి. కంకాటినేషన్ అనేది s1 లోనే ఉంటుంది, దట్ ఈస్ వరల్డ్ అని ఉంటుంది. దాని తర్వాత దాన్ని నేను ఒక టెంపరీలో స్ట్రింగ్ లోకి కాపీ చేస్తాను, దాని తర్వాత దాన్ని రిటర్న్ చేస్తాను. సో దట్స్ వై కంకాటినేషన్ జరిగిన తర్వాత s3 డాట్ str అని అంటే ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ దట్ వరల్డ్. ఓకే, ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ వరల్డ్ అని ఇస్తుంది. దాని తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ s2 విల్ బి కంపేర్డ్ విత్ దిస్ s4, బికాస్ s2 లో ఇప్పుడు వరల్డ్ అనేది ఉంది. తర్వాత s4 లో కూడా నాకేముంది, వరల్డ్ అనేది కాపీ చేసుకున్నాను నేను ఫస్టే str1 లోకి. ఎందుకంటే ఈ కంకాటినేషన్ చేసిన తర్వాత s1 లో కూడా నాకు వరల్డ్ అనే ఉంటుంది, s3 లో కూడా వరల్డ్ ఉంటుంది. అందుకని నేను ముందే s1 లో ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్ని నేను s4 లోకి కాపీ చేశాను. ఇప్పుడు s2 అనేది కంపేర్ విత్ s2 లో కూడా వరల్డే ఉంది, నెక్స్ట్ s4 లో కూడా వరల్డే ఉంది, బట్ s1 s3 లో మాత్రం కంకాటినేషన్ జరిగింది ఉంది. అందుకని నేను ఇప్పుడు s2 ఐఎమ్ కంపేరింగ్ విత్ s4. ఇఫ్ బోత్ ద స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్, దెన్ స్ట్రింగ్ కంపారిజన్ 0 అనేది వస్తుంది. సో 0 ఈక్వల్ 0 కాబట్టి ఇట్ విల్ రిటర్న్ 1. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ if it returns 1, then I will say that strings are equal. ఇలా strings are equal అని చేస్తాను. if both the strings are not equal, else అయితేనేమో strings are not equal. ఇలా మనం if else తో రాయకుండా డైరెక్ట్ గా నేను కండిషనల్ ఆపరేటర్ ద్వారా రాయొచ్చు. ఎలా, లైక్ దిస్ ఈజ్ యువర్ కండిషనల్ ఆపరేటర్. లైక్ I can use like I equal to 1. if I value కనుక 1 అయితే, దెన్ కండిషనల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ కనుక ట్రూ అయింది అనుకోండి, then this statement will be executed. If the conditional statement is false, then this statement will be executed. So నేను డైరెక్ట్ గా ఇంత if else ఇదంతా రాయకుండా డైరెక్ట్ గా నేను ఇలా రాసేయచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ I గనక 1 అయితే, బికాస్ I అనేది 1 అప్పుడు అవుతుందంటే when both the strings are equal, then it will return 1, otherwise it will return 0. So that's why 1 equal to 1 అయితేనేమో strings are equal అని చెప్పేసి ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది. అదే ఫాల్స్ అయితేనేమో స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఈక్వల్ అని ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది. ఇంక్రిమెంట్ అన్నప్పుడు ప్లస్ ప్లస్ s4 అని ఇస్తాను. ప్లస్ s4 అంటే s4 డాట్ ఆపరేటర్ ప్లస్ ప్లస్. సో ఆపరేటర్ ప్లస్ ప్లస్ వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఇంక్రిమెంటెడ్ స్ట్రింగ్ అని చెప్పేసి ఆ స్ట్రింగ్ అనేది ఇంక్రిమెంట్, ఈచ్ క్యారెక్టర్ విల్ బి ఇంక్రిమెంటెడ్ అండ్ దట్ విల్ బి కన్వర్టెడ్ అండ్ దట్ విల్ బి డిస్ప్లేడ్. ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్? ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యు గాట్ ఇట్, రైట్? యా, హలో.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now I will try to complete this program. Yeah, Now I will try to compile this program. Yeah, if the compilation is successful, then I will try to run this program. Yeah, if you see over here, first after doing this concatenation, it will be world only, world, and strings are equal because world both strings are equal, and incremental string is xpsme because after w you will get x and o tarvata p, r tarvata s, next l tarvata m, d tarvata e వస్తుంది. Okay, you can do all the remaining operations, but general గా నేను s1 plus s2 అని చేయలేను, but by using this operator overloading I can do the logic that is related to everything. I can write inside so that s1 plus s2 కూడా జరిగి ఇక్కడ concatenation జరుగుతుంది. Okay, సో ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒకవేళ నేను ఇక్కడ if I am giving this this as w, capital W, then it has to give both the strings are not equal because w and w both are not equal, so it will give strings are not equal, and it will concatenation world with capital W world తోటి concatenation చేస్తుంది, and it is giving the same thing. Okay, so this is increment చేస్తే నాకు same thing అదే వస్తుంది. Okay, got it? All of you got it right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay then, thank you. Next I will go to the next topic. Yeah, I will go to the next topic. Is the screen is visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Right, yeah. So this is your fifth chapter. So this fifth chapter entirely based on this inheritance concept. Okay, what is inheritance, what are the different types of inheritances, everything will be there in the covered in the fifth chapter. So what is inheritance? We have seen OOPS properties. Okay, we have seen OOPS properties. What are the different types of OOPS properties? Can anyone list out the OOPS properties? Yeah, class,
Encapsulation,
object, encapsulation or data encapsulation.
Abstraction.
polymorphism,
Yeah, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. This is very important, you don't forget. Dynamic binding, and the last topic is what? Message passing.
message passing.
Okay, so all these are OOPS properties. Definitely you will get 5 marks question or 3 marks question. Okay, you will definitely get from this concept itself you will get 10 marks compulsory వస్తాయి. What is class, what is object, what is encapsulation, what is data abstraction అని ఒక 5 marks question, what are the OOPS properties అని అట్లా అడుగుతారు. So we have seen encapsulation, class is nothing but that is blueprint, everything we have no. Object is nothing but it is an instance of a class, or what is the real time entity of an class is nothing but object. And encapsulation, both data members and member clubbing or wrapping up of both data members and member functions inside a single unit is called encapsulation, and hiding the details and showing only the essential features is abstraction. Inheritance, we have seen about this inheritance. What is inheritance?
Inheriting properties from
one class to another class. Okay, inheriting the properties from one class to another class, or creating a new class from existing class is called inheritance. So that concept we will see in depth in the today's class. And polymorphism also ability to take more than one form. We have seen about the static polymorphism, which is achieved by using function overloading and operator overloading. And we will see about this dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism in the second part of this inheritance, that is virtual functions. And dynamic binding also, that is also in the second part, that is virtual functions only. Dynamic binding comes under this dynamic polymorphism. Next, message passing, everything is message passing only. We will do this passing by using this dot operator, member access operator. And I can communicate one object with another object, or object can communicate with the data members. That concept is message passing. So we will see about what is inheritance and what is the necessity of inheritance, what is base class, what is derived class, everything we will see in the today's class. So what is the necessary of inheritance? So inheritance is the process of creating a new class called derived class from the existing class, which is also called as base class. So there is a base class which is there. Base class is nothing but this is the parent class or super class. From this base class, whatever the properties of that particular class, whatever the properties of class అంటేనే క్లాస్ లోపల ఏముంటాయి, డేటా మెంబర్స్ ఉంటాయి, మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. whatever the properties of that particular class, if those class properties are derived into another class, that is called derived class, then this concept is called inheritance. So inheritance is nothing but process of creating a new class. I am creating a new class called a derived class from the existing class called a base class. Already this base class is there. From this base class I am deriving a new class called derived class. The derived class inherits all the properties and also capabilities. Okay, the properties are the best word. So the derived class inherits all the properties of the base class, but it can also add its own properties. Means ఇక్కడ నాకు బేస్ క్లాస్ లోపల నాకు ఏవైనా వేరియబుల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, లైక్ ఇంట్ ఏ కమ బి కమ సి ఉంది, అండ్ ఇట్ హాస్ మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ లైక్ యాడ్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది, నెక్స్ట్ సబ్ట్రాక్షన్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది. సో వెనెవర్ ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ దిస్ పర్టిక్యులర్ derived class which is inheriting the properties from this base class, then whatever the data members that are there inside this one, all those data members will be coming into the derived class. And derived class can have its own properties, like ఇక్కడ దానికి సంబంధించిన డేటా మెంబర్స్ ఉండొచ్చు, దానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉండొచ్చు. దీనికి సపరేట్ గా మళ్ళీ derived class కి have its own properties. Like for example, in the real time, if I say some of your relatives may say like you are looking like a father, means what is the meaning of that one? You are inheriting some of the properties from your father. మీ ఫాదర్ నుంచి కొన్ని ప్రాపర్టీస్ లైక్ ఐస్ కానీ నోస్ కానీ ఇలాంటివి వచ్చాయి. తర్వాత యూ కెన్ హ్యావ్ యువర్ ఓన్ ప్రాపర్టీస్, లైక్ యూ కెన్ హ్యావ్ యువర్ ఓన్ కలర్, సపరేట్ కలర్ నీకు ఉండొచ్చు, సపరేట్ బిహేవియర్ యూ మే గెట్, దట్ ఈస్ దిస్ వన్ derived. Okay, వాట్ ఎవర్ the same thing. Okay, so what is this inheritance is nothing but deriving or creating a new class from existing class is called inheritance. The base class remains unchanged by this process. అంటే బేస్ క్లాస్ అనేది ఏం చేంజ్ కాదు. బేస్ క్లాస్ లో నేనేం ప్రాపర్టీస్ యాడ్ చేయను, లేకపోతే ఏం చేయను. ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే derived class మే ఓవర్ రైడ్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ ద బేస్ క్లాస్. అంటే కొన్ని ప్రాపర్టీస్ అయినా రావచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఆల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ మే బి కమింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద derived class. Inheritance is very similar to parent-child relationship. There is a relationship between this is called parent and this is called child relationship. Any class can be a base class. ఏ క్లాస్ అయినా బేస్ క్లాస్ చేయొచ్చు. More than one class can be derived from a base class. More than one class can be derived from a base class. So that concept is there. Okay, ఒక more than one class అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను నాకు ఒక అంటే you can be one class and your brother may be another class. From the same class I can derive any number of classes. Derived class can be a base class to another. Okay, and this derived class, after derived class again one more class can be derived from this derived class. That based on that only we have different types of inheritances. For example, a programmer can create a base class named fruit. Okay, and he can create another derived classes as mango, orange, banana. Each of these derived classes, mango, orange, banana, has all the features of the base class fruit with additional attributes or features specific to this newly created derived classes. Mango would have its own defined features, orange would have its own defined features, and banana would have its own defined features. So there is a class called fruit class. From this fruit class, or otherwise best example is like vehicle class ఉంది. ఈ వెహికల్ క్లాస్ లోపల నాకేమున్నాయి, ఆల్ ద ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ వెహికల్ క్లాస్ లైక్ కలర్ ఆఫ్ ద వెహికల్ అండ్ కంపెనీ ఆఫ్ ద వెహికల్, and it has the remaining thing, yeah, like this. Okay, and after this one, color of the company of the price of the vehicle, and after this one, from this vehicle I have deriving two more classes like two-wheeler class and three-wheeler class, and next one is your four-wheeler class. And it may have its own properties. Two-wheeler class may have its own number of wheels and number of wheels it can have, and what is the speed of that particular thing, or it may have its own properties, like what is the like this speed and mileage. Okay, like this. And three-wheeler may have its own properties, like something like this. Four-wheeler may have its own properties. Okay, got it? All of you got it, right? Yeah, all of you following, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is about inheritance. And what is the necessity of inheritance? What is the one of the key benefits of inheritance is to minimize the amount of duplicate in an application by sharing common code among several desktop classes. Definitely this plays a vital role whenever you go to the programming also. Whenever you are in the companies lo మీరు జావా కానీ పైథాన్ కానీ లేకపోతే if you are using this kind of any object-oriented programming language, then definitely it plays a vital role in the inheritance plays a vital role in the coding part, because by using this inheritance concept only, no need to write that code again. Whatever the code that is there inside one class, easily whatever the functions or data members that are there in the inside the class, those can be inherited into another class just by using this concept of inheritance. So it will minimize the amount of duplicate code. And where equivalent code exists in two related classes, the hierarchy can usually be refactored to move the common code up to a mutual superclass. This also tends to result in a better organization of the code and smaller, simpler compilation units. Inheritance can also make application code more flexible to change, because classes that inherit from a common superclass can be used interchangeably if the return type of the method is superclass. Okay. And what are the main necessity of inheritance and whatever the advantages of inheritance is, I can reuse the code, because no need to write whatever the data members and member functions that I defined inside one class, no need to redefine again. నేను ఒక క్లాస్ ఏ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేశాను, ఆ క్లాస్ ఏలో నాకు ఒక 100 ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. జస్ట్ నేను ఇంకొక మాడ్యూల్ తయారు చేస్తున్నాను, ఇంకొక మాడ్యూల్లో క్లాస్ బి అనేది క్రియేట్ చేసి జస్ట్ ఈ పబ్లిక్ ఏ అంటే వెంటనే నేను ఇన్హెరిట్ చేయొచ్చు. అప్పుడు నేను ఈ 100 ఫంక్షనాలిటీస్ ని నేను ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. నో నీడ్ టు రైట్ సపరేట్లీ. దట్ ఈస్ ద అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ వన్, రీయూజబిలిటీ. Facility to use public methods of the base class without rewriting them. So if all the methods are public inside this class A, then no need to refine those functions again inside this class B. Just by using this inheritance, whatever the functions that you have created in one class, you can again reuse in another class. Data members కానీ member functions ఏవైనా reuse చేసుకోవచ్చు. And extensibility. What is this extensibility? Extending the functionality of base class logic as per the business logic of the derived class. అంటే మీరు ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఫంక్షన్ ని మీరు ఇక్కడ ఇక్కడికి రావడంతో పాటు యూ కెన్ ఎక్స్టెండ్ ద కోడ్ ఆల్సో. యూ కెన్ ఎక్స్టెండ్ దట్ కోడ్ ఇన్సైడ్ దిస్ derived class. So that is the advantage of this one. So the two main advantages of inheritance is I can reuse the code and I can do extensibility. Means I can extend the features. So not only I can have whatever the features that are there in properties that are there in one class, those will be again coming into the class, and the class can have its own properties or it can extend new features. And data hiding, base class can decide to keep, this also very important point. We can do this data hiding. Means base class can decide ఏ ఫంక్షన్స్ అయితే నేను ఒకవేళ డేటా సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద డేటా మే బి ప్రైవేట్ ఇన్సైడ్ దిస్ బేస్ క్లాస్. ఒక క్లాస్ ఉంది, ఆ క్లాస్ లోపల కొంచెం ఏవైతే నేను డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్ కి రావాలో అవి రెస్ట్రిక్షన్ కూడా చేయొచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ ద అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ వన్, ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్. ఓకే, ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ లో నేను జస్ట్ ఒక క్లాస్ ఉంది, క్లాస్ ఏ ఉంది, ఆ క్లాస్ ఏ లోపల నాకు సంథింగ్ లైక్ 10 డేటా మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, నెక్స్ట్ 100 ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ బి ఉంది. What is the syntax for inheritance is just class B తర్వాత కోలన్ పెట్టి ఇక్కడ యాక్సెస్ స్పెసిఫై చేస్తారు, అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్లాస్ విచ్ యూ వాంట్ టు ఓవర్ రైట్. దేన్ని ఓవర్ రైట్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారో అది మీరు రాస్తారు ఆ క్లాస్. ఇది సింటాక్స్ అంటే. ఇలా చేసినప్పుడు నాకు ఇవన్నీ కనుక పబ్లిక్ లో ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, ఇవన్నీ కూడా డేటా మెంబర్స్ నెక్స్ట్ మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ అన్ని పబ్లిక్ లో ఉంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇవన్నీ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేస్తాయి. బట్ అలా కాకుండా నేను రెస్ట్రిక్షన్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటే దీంట్లో ఒక 5 మాత్రమే నాకు సీక్రెట్ గా ఉన్నాయనిపిస్తే ఆ 5 వాటిని తీసుకొచ్చి ప్రైవేట్ లో పెడతాను. నెక్స్ట్ దీంట్లో నాకు ఓన్లీ 100 ఫంక్షన్స్ పబ్లిక్, మిగతా 50 అనేవి అయితే 50ని నేను ఈ ప్రైవేట్ సెక్షన్ లో పెడతాను. అప్పుడు నాకు దీంట్లో నుంచి ఓన్లీ 5 డేటా మెంబర్స్ నెక్స్ట్ 50 మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ మాత్రమే derived class అనేది యాక్సెస్ చేయొచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ డేటా హైడింగ్. ఐ కెన్ రెస్ట్రిక్ట్ ఆల్సో. And overriding, with inheritance we will able to override the methods of the base class so that meaningful implementation of the base class method can be designed in the derived class. This is called overriding. If you want to do this function overriding, so function overriding, so that is also comes under dynamic polymorphism. So dynamic polymorphism can be achieved by using this function overriding. Static polymorphism is achieved by using function overloading. So if you want to do this overriding also, that is possible through inheritance only. We will discuss. Okay, so what are the advantages of inheritance? I can reuse the code, I can extend the code, or I can do this data hiding, and I can override the override. I can do this function overriding by using inheritance. And transitive nature of the inheritance, that is nothing but if class A inherits the properties of another class B, so B is there and A is a class which is inheriting from A, then all the subclasses of A will automatically inherit the properties of B. That is nothing but if I am deriving one more class, then indirectly I can say whatever the properties of B, those can be inherited. I think you know, right? ఇప్పుడు ఒక క్లాస్ బి ఉంది, ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ బి ఆల్ ద ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆర్ ఇన్హెరిటెడ్ బై ఏ, అండ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఏ I am inheriting on one more class called C, then indirectly I can say whatever the properties of this B, those will be indirectly inherited to C. This is called transitive. Transitive అంటే A to B, B to C ఉంటే A to C. Clear? You know, right? This transitive property అంటే A to B, B to C ఉంటే A to C. Okay? So that transitive property also there within the inheritance. So suppose we inherit the class B from existing class A, and C and D inherit from this B. Later we find that class A has bug error that must be corrected. So after correcting the bug in A, it automatically will be reflected across the classes that inherit from the A. So this reduces the amount of effort. So what is the meaning of this one is, suppose we inherit the class B from existing class A. A అనే క్లాస్ నుంచి B అనేది వచ్చింది. దాని తర్వాత then class C and D inherit from class C and D inherit from this B, and after later we find that class A has bug error. Okay, ఇందులో ఎర్రర్ ఉందని తెలిసింది. After correcting the bug in A, then it will automatically reflected across all the classes that inherit from A. Okay, A. So what is the meaning of this one? Like A, from A అనే క్లాస్ నుంచి B అనేది వచ్చింది, డిరైవ్ చేశాను. From this B I am deriving two more classes called C and D. ఇప్పుడు బిలో ఏలో ఏదైనా ఎర్రర్ ఉందనుకోండి, ఏలో ఎర్రర్ని నేను రెక్టిఫై చేస్తే దట్ విల్ బి ఎంటైర్లీ రిఫ్లెక్టెడ్ ఇన్ ఆల్ ద డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాసెస్. దట్ ఈస్ ద అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. ఓకే, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ట్రాన్సిటివ్ ప్రాపర్టీ. అంటే నేను ఏలో ఏమైనా చేంజెస్ చేసినప్పుడు దోస్ విల్ బి సీన్ బై దిస్ బి, అండ్ సి అండ్ డి ఆల్సో కెన్ సీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ట్రాన్సిటివ్ ప్రాపర్టీ. గాట్ ఇట్? గాట్ ఇట్, రైట్? హలో, all of you following, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So what are the advantages of using this inheritance? The main advantages of inheritance are nothing but reusability and readability, or extensibility also. I can call one more thing is extensibility. So these are the three advantages of inheritance. When child class inherits the properties and functionality of parent class, we need not to write the same code again in child class. This we have seen already. So that's why I can say reusable. I can reuse the code, existing code. This makes it easier to reuse the code, makes us write the less code, and the code becomes much more readable. Let's take the real-time example to understand this. Let's assume that human is a class. Human is a class that has the properties. So we have this class human. Inside this class human, I have the different properties like int, height, weight, color. These three properties are there, and it has the functionality like eating, sleeping, and dreaming, working. All these are the functionalities. Okay, so after this one, now we want to create male and female classes. Like I want to create male class, and I want to create female class. I want to create one more class called female class. So after this one, these classes are different, but since both are male or female, both are humans, they share some common properties and behavior. So they can inherit those properties and functionality from the human class, and rest can be written in their class separately. Okay, so whenever I am inheriting from this human, because both the classes are inheriting from this, so male also having this height, weight, color, and he has the functionality eating, sleeping, and everything, and female also having its own same thing into height, weight, color, and it has eating, sleeping, all those things will be there, same thing. And male may have separate things, separate properties, and female may have its own properties. These are the common properties. So ఏవైతే కామన్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉన్నాయో ఆ కామన్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ని if I want to derive, then I can define a class, and inside this class I can define all the properties, and whichever class which is inheriting from this particular class, so that it will inherit all the properties. That's it. So this approach makes us write less code, as both the classes inherited several properties and functions from the base class. Thus we don't need to rewrite them again. మళ్ళీ మీరు రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద కోడ్, ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఈటింగ్ అనే ఫంక్షన్ కి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గా మనకు ఒక 100 లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్ ఉంది అనుకోండి, జస్ట్ దాన్ని జస్ట్ నేను ఎలా ఇన్హెరిట్ చేయొచ్చు అంటే జస్ట్ పబ్లిక్ హ్యూమన్ అని అనడం వల్ల మొత్తం ఈ ఈటింగ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి 100 లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్ అనేది నో నీడ్ టు రైట్ అగైన్, ఐ కెన్ డైరెక్ట్లీ యూజ్ just by creating the object for this one. I directly call this class. So this is one thing. Okay, this makes it easier to read the code. Okay, so till now we have discussed about what is inheritance and what is the necessity of inheritance. So inheritance is the property. Okay, inheritance is the concept, or inheritance is the process of creating a new class from existing class, or inheritance is the process of inheriting the properties from existing class to another class. And what are the advantages of inheritance? I can reuse the code, reusability and readability will be increased, the program readability will be increased, and one more thing is extensibility. I can not only inherit the properties from the existing class, and this existing class or derived class can have its own properties. That is nothing but we can extend the features of the derived class. That is nothing but extensibility. And the next one is your what is the relationship between base class and derived class. So what is this is also you can expect for 3 marks question. So what is the relationship between base class and derived class? In C++, inheritance is supported by derived classes. A derived class is like ordinary class except that its definition is based on one or more existing classes called base classes. So whatever the base classes already there, so derived class is like ordinary class except that its definition is based on the one or more existing classes. It may be its definition of this derived class may be based on the same but based on the existing class, that is called base class. That may be one class, one base class, or that may be 2 or more base class. Based on that, we have different types of inheritance. And base class is nothing but a base class is a class in an object-oriented programming language from which other classes are derived. From this base class only, I can derive any number of classes. So base class is a class from which other classes are derived. So the class which inherits the base class have, so whatever the class that inherits from this base class, it will have all the data members of the base class as well as it can have its own data. That is nothing but whenever I have this class A, inside this class A, we have this int a comma b comma c, and it has add function and subtraction function. After this one, whenever I am creating a new class called derived class, if it is inheriting from this A, then I can say whatever the properties that are there inside this one, this will be coming over here. Like int a comma b comma c will be there, and add will be there, and subtraction will be there. And I can create my own data members of this class B also. That is nothing but int x comma y, and I can create my own functions like division or multiplication. Okay, so this is called the inheritance. So the class which inherits the base class have all the members of the base as well as it can have its own additional data. So whenever I am deriving a new class, then this class will have all the data members of the base class, and it can have its own data. So in the object of derived class, base class members also present. Okay, if I create this object of this base class, then I can access this derived class. Okay, or base class data members also I can access. And derived class is nothing but here you have to get the definition. What is base class? Base class is a class in which other classes are derived. And derived class, a class that is created on the basis of an existing class. Okay, derived class is nothing but it is a class that is created on the basis of existing class. So the derived class inherits all the properties of the base class. The derived class can add new members of the changing. Yeah, so derived class is nothing but a class that is created on the basis of an existing class. The derived class inherits all the properties of the base class. The derived class can add new members or change the base class members. Okay, or change base class members. So what is the difference between base class and derived class is nothing but a class that helps to derive or create a new class is called base class. The class which is helping or which is used to derive or create another class, new class is called base class. A class which is created or derived from an already existing class is called derived class. Any confusion is there in this? Any confusion is there? Hello? Right. So a class which helps to create or derive a new class. This is helping to create this B class. That's why this is called a base class. And a class which is created from this existing class is called derived class. Also called parent class. దీన్ని ఏమనొచ్చు అంటే బేస్ క్లాస్ అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే సూపర్ క్లాస్ అని అంటారు. అండ్ ఇది బేస్ క్లాస్ అన్నప్పుడు దీన్ని డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్ అంటారు. అది పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ అన్నప్పుడు దీన్ని ఏమంటారు, చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అంటారు. అండ్ ఇది సూపర్ క్లాస్ అయినప్పుడు దీన్ని ఏమంటారు, సబ్ క్లాస్ అంటారు. అంతే. అండ్ కెనాట్ ఇన్హెరిట్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ అండ్ మెథడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ద డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్. అంటే నేను బేస్ క్లాస్ కెన్ ఇన్హెరిట్ దిస్. Okay, a derived class can inherit all the properties from the base class, but base class cannot inherit the properties from the derived class. Got it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
ఇక్కడ A అనేది బేస్ క్లాస్ అయింది. నెక్స్ట్ B అనేది అయినప్పుడు whatever the properties that are there inside this class A, those will be inherited into B. But whatever the properties that are there in the class B, that will not be inherited by A. That is vice versa is not possible, because I am inheriting this B from this A. అంటే నేను ఇప్పుడు మా పేరెంట్ నుంచి నేను ప్రాపర్టీస్ అనేవి నాకు వస్తాయి, బట్ నా ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి నా పేరెంట్కి వస్తాయా? రావు. బట్ నా చైల్డ్కి రావచ్చు. నా చైల్డ్కి what are the properties that are there from me, those may come to my children. Got it? All of you got it, right? Yeah, that's it. Okay, that is your base class. We have this base class. So what is the relationship between this base class and derived class? Means derived class can inherit all the properties or features. I can call data members or member functions. Anything I can call it as property, or it may be features or anything. So whatever the properties that are there in the base class, all those properties will be inherited into the derived class. And derived class can have its own properties. That is the relationship between base class and derived class. So what is the main differences between base class and derived class? A class which is used to help or help to derive or create new class is called base class, and the class which is created or derived from an existing class is called derived class. And this base class can also be called as parent class or super class, and derived class can also be called as child class or subclass. And it cannot inherit, a base class cannot inherit the properties and methods of the derived class, but derived class can inherit the properties and methods of base class. That's it. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇలా చూసుకుంటే ఈ బేస్ క్లాస్ లోపల నాకు 3 ఫీచర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఏబిసి. ఎప్పుడైతే నేను ఆరో అనేది ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఇలా ఉండాలి. కొన్ని టెక్స్ట్ బుక్స్లలో రివర్స్ ఉంటుంది, బట్ మోస్ట్లీ యూ కెన్ ఫాలో దిస్ సింటాక్స్ ఉంది. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ array always you should have the direction from derived class to base class. What is the meaning of this one? Derived class is deriving from this base class, and అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే whatever the properties that are there in the base class, all those properties will be coming into this derived class like this. ఈ ప్రాపర్టీస్ అనేవి ఆటోమేటిక్ గా వచ్చేసినాయి. అవి ఇండైరెక్ట్లీ వచ్చింది అన్నట్టు. ఇండైరెక్ట్లీ whatever the properties of this base class, those properties will be coming into the derived class. And derived class can define its own properties, like A, B, C అనే ఫీచర్స్ అనేవి మొత్తం కూడా these are defined in the base class, but these can be accessed in the derived class, and derived class can have its own properties. Got it? This is the main relationship between base class and derived class. Means base class is not changed, but derived class can have its own new properties also. That is called this one. So as per the above figure, a derived class can derive some of the selected properties. These properties are nothing but data members and member functions of its base classes. A derived class can itself be the base class of another derived class. From this derived class, again I can derive one more class. That is called derived class. We can derive one more class. Then అప్పుడు దాంట్లో ఏమవుతున్నాయి, ఈ ఫీచర్ ఏ బిసి ఇండైరెక్ట్ గా ఇక్కడ నుంచి వచ్చేస్తాయి, డి కూడా వస్తుంది. దాని తర్వాత దీనికి ఇంకొక ప్రాపర్టీ ఇట్ కెన్ హ్యావ్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ ప్రాపర్టీ. ఏ derived class is also called as subclass. దీన్ని సబ్ క్లాస్ అని అంటారు, because it becomes a subordinate of the base class in hierarchy. Similarly, a base class may also be called as super class, because from it many other classes may be derived, because that is superior, అందుకని super class అని అంటారు. And this is subordinate to this base class property, subclass అంటారు. Deriving a new class from an existing one allows redefining a member function of the base class and also adding new members to the derived class. In other words, a derived class not only inherits all the properties of the base class, but also it has some other refinements kuda cheyochu. It can do that refinements. The base class అనేది మాత్రం remain unchanged. This base class అనేది change కాదు. In other words, the derived class is a type of base class, but with more details added. So for this reason, the relationship between a derived class and its base class is a easier relationship అని అంటారు. Easier relationship. Vehicle is a, or two-wheeler is a vehicle, or three-wheeler is a vehicle, or four-wheeler is a vehicle. So whatever the relationship that is there in the inheritance, that is also called as easier relationship. This is said previous question. That is nothing but what is the relationship between derived class and base class. That is nothing but whatever the relationship that you have defined in the inheritance, that is one kind of that dash relationship under. That is nothing but easier relationship. And what is the syntax for defining a derived class? With this, we will conclude the today's class. So what is syntax for defining a derived class? A derived class consists of features of the base class and the features of its own. It has its own features, and it can also reuse the features that are there in the base class. The general form of defining a derived class consists of the following components. First, the keyword class and an identifier to specify the name of the derived class. So what is the name of the derived class? And single colon, then what is the type of the derivation? There are three types of derivations. That is public derivation, private derivation, protected derivation, which is also called as accessibility mode, and name of the user defined base class, and definition of the derived class. So we will see in detail. So what is the general syntax is nothing but first we should have the base class, that is nothing but class, base class, class, base class, and it can have the data members and member functions. It can have its own data members. It can have its own data members and member functions. So it can have its own data members and member functions. It can have its own data members and member functions. Now I'm creating a new class called derived class. You have to specify class is the keyword, and what is the name of the derived class you have to write, and here you have to specify the colon. It is not scope resolution operator, it is a single colon. The same single colon you are using in the whenever you are specifying the access specifier also, like public colon. So this is the same colon you have to use for inheritance, and here you have to mention the access specifier or visibility mode. Access specifier or visibility mode. So what are the, how many access specifiers are there in C++? So anyone tell what are the different access specifiers there in C++? Yeah, access specifiers.
Public, private, protected.
Yeah,
Public,
very good.
private,
Okay.
protected.
Public, private, protected. Okay, only these three are there. If you go for Java, there is one more called internal అని ఉంటుంది. And .NET లో ఏమున్నాయి? .NET లో కూడా పబ్లిక్, ప్రైవేట్, ప్రొటెక్టెడ్ అని ఉందా? డిఫాల్ట్ అని కూడా ఉంటుంది. Yeah,
Internal.
default and
Internal.
default. Okay, right. So this is class, derived class, and here you have to mention the accessibility mode, and next what is the base class you have to mention over here. So what is the meaning of this one? This is a derived class which is deriving from this base class, and it can have its own data members, member functions. I can define in the private section or public section or protected section. So where derived class is nothing but the name of the new class which is going to be derived. Base class is nothing but the name of the base class from which the new class is derived, and single colon specifies that it is derived from. What is the meaning of this one? Single colon ఏదైతే ఉందో దీని మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే the derived class is derived from అని అర్థం. Is derived from base class that may be in the publicly, or that may be privately, or that may be protected. We will see in detail. Access specifier is nothing but specifies the type of the derivation, whether it is this particular base class I am deriving publicly into the derived class, whether this base class is derived privately into the derived class, or whether this base class is protectedly derived into the derived class. That will be designed, or that will be specified by using this access specifier or visibility mode. So we will see all this in detail. Okay, if I are taking one example, like we have this class A, this is base class, and inside this class A we have this public data, that is in public A and public function, and private data, this is private A and private function, and protected data, that is protected and protected. ఇంతవరకు మనం చూసింది ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ జనరల్ గా డేటా అనేది ప్రైవేట్ సెక్షన్ లో పెడతాను, మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ అనేది పబ్లిక్. బట్ అట్లా కాకుండా యూ కెన్ డిఫైన్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్, పబ్లిక్, ప్రైవేట్, ప్రొటెక్టెడ్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ క్లాస్ ఏ అనేది బేస్ క్లాస్, దాని లోపల పబ్లిక్ ఒక మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్, ఒక డేటా మెంబర్ ఉంది, ప్రైవేట్ ఒక డేటా మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది, ప్రొటెక్టెడ్ కూడా ఒక డేటా మెంబర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు I just want to create another class B. Okay, so that's why class B I just want to inherit from this A. So I have to write B colon. Next you have to specify the visibility mode. That visibility mode or access specifier is nothing but public or private or protectively. And what is the base class? So here the base class is A. So that's why I can say there is a derived class B which is privately derived from this base class A, and it can have its own properties. Okay, so it's a base class B. It can have this public data members, and this it has its own private data members. And class C, which is also derived from A, but it is publicly. So that's why derived class C, which is publicly derived from this base class, and it has its own data members. And class D, which is derived, this is derived class D, which is protectedly derived from this base class A. So what is the meaning of this public, private, and protected? We will see in the coming classes. You understand, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Thank you. Thank you. Right.